Hello viewers, welcome to Joy's Kitchen. I hope you are doing good. Today I'm going to show you a very simple cake. I call it berry cake because I'm going to use strawberry flavor for it, but I'm not going to use any raw berry though. But this is a very simple cake and very good with a cup of coffee or cup of tea. It's so beautiful and so easy to make. So check the recipe, how I'm going to make it step by step. To make my berry cake, I'm not going to show you separately all the ingredients. I'm just going to show you when I'm going to making it directly. So it's going to be like the straightforward way. So at first I took actually one medium size mixing bowl to mix all my ingredients together, which actually any cake you make and you need these things. And I'm going to use obviously custard sugar. Then I'm going to use some pink food coloring here, and that's the best food coloring ever, I can tell you, because this is so light, it's not very thick, and it's very good as well. And this is from the Sainsbury, and it's really cheap as well at the same time, but it's very good. And then I'm going to use some strawberry flavor that's also from Sainsbury, and trust me, this strawberry flavor is so fresh and so real, it's so good, and it's not very strong at the same time. It's very light kind of fresh original strawberry flavor, and I love it. It's so good. Then obviously electric whisker, which is like a basic ingredients for basic tools for making cake. And then I need 2 eggs, and then I'm gonna show you the twist in my cake. This is actually real Indian or Bangladeshi ghee, which is clarified butter. I'm not using any clarified butter for my cake. I'm just gonna use pure deshi ghee, and that's gonna give a really warm and buttery kind of flavor. And who know about Bangladeshi ghee or Indian ghee, they know already that how beautifully that ghee smells. And that I'm gonna use around 2 tablespoons. Then I need a proper pound cake baking tin, and I already gheed or buttered my pound tin. I'm using a little bit more ghee than as usual butter, because that ghee gonna give a really nice kind of buttery smell under my whole cake. So just make sure you are buttering your cake tin properly. I already took 2 eggs in my baking mixing bowl. You can see I don't need too much egg, because some people add too much egg and that the cake end up with really eggy kind of flavor, and I don't like it. And I need 4 tablespoons of sugar, normal custard sugar. You can add 1 cup of custard sugar for 1 cup of flour, because I'm taking 1 cup of flour, but I'm not I don't make my cake too sweet, not like shop, so that's why it's 4 tablespoons. I need half cup of vegetable oil. I'm not using any clarified butter here or melted butter here. I'm just making my cake really light. That's why I'm using just half cup of vegetable oil, plain vegetable oil. So that's the measurement actually for my cake. For 1 cup of flour, half cup of vegetable oil, and then another additional 2 tablespoons of pure ghee, melted ghee. That's gonna give a really buttery smell. Oh, that's gonna be so good. Trust me, if you are following this recipe, just try to use it, because that's gonna make your cake totally special and different than normal as usual other cakes. But if you don't find it, it's okay, you can use melted butter. And then for dry ingredients, I took 1 cup of plain flour, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder, and half teaspoon of baking soda. So this is like the proper normal amount of pound cake. 1 cup of flour, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder, and half teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm gonna mix these dry ingredients together now. So in a mixing bowl, I already put these 2 eggs here, which is a room temperature egg. Now I'm gonna add half cup of plain vegetable oil. As I said, you can use melted butter, but I'm making it really light, and vegetable oil works perfectly fine with the plain cake, so there is no problem. And now I'm going to add 4 big tablespoons of sugar. As I said, you can add 1 cup of sugar for 1 cup of flour, but that's the sweetness I love, a little bit lighter than normal shop bought cakes, so that's why I'm using just 4 tablespoons. But you can go ahead if you like really sweet cake. This is just plain custard sugar. And now I'm gonna whisk my cake. I'm gonna whisk these ingredients actually for 2 minutes till they are really fluffy and all the sugar melt. So yeah, I'm gonna start whisking it. So after around 2 minutes of whisking, my eggs are almost done now. You can see the fluffiness. And now I'm gonna add my clarified ghee or melted ghee here. That I'm adding actually around 2 tablespoons because I don't need too much. I don't want to make it heavy. I just want the flavor of it, so I don't need too much. Just 2 tablespoons should be fine for 1 pound cake or 1 cup of flour. And I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of strawberry flavoring or essence. As I said, this essence is really lighter than vanilla essence, so that's why I'm using actually 2 teaspoons. But if you are using vanilla essence, add 1.5 teaspoon or 1 teaspoon should be fine. So now I'm gonna whisk it for another 1 minute just to mix them together properly for another 1 minute. Now I'm gonna add all the dry ingredients, which I said 1 cup of flour, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder and half teaspoon of baking soda, and I'm gonna mix them together. This is the easiest way to mix all the ingredients together. So I already mixed my dry ingredients with my wet ingredients, and I kind of like 1 minute I whisked it, because after using the dry ingredients you can't whisk too much, you just make sure it. And now I'm adding around 1 tablespoon of lukewarm water. It's not hot, it's just a little bit warmer than normal cold water. So you just make sure, because that's gonna make my cake really fluffy and really soft in the middle and spongy. So this is kind of like a secret ingredient, but if you already know it, that's fine for you. Then just add 1 tablespoon of lukewarm water. And now I'm gonna whisk it for another 1 minute. So my cake batter is done now. You can see it's really I can smell the butter and the strawberry flavor, and trust me, unfortunately strawberry flavor and really Indian clarified butter or ghee goes so good together. If you never tasted it, just try it, this cake, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna tell me that okay, you are right. So my batter is ready now. So I already buttered my baking tray, cake baking tray. Before I showed you, I have to say about ghee actually, not buttered, because I put ghee here. And this is the baking tray I'm using actually last 2 years, and that's from Mary Berry. I love these women, I love her baking, I love her cooking, but especially her baking is like best in the world, and she is really respected at the same time. So yeah, and I love this baking tray. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the ingredients now. Yeah, so I already put all my cake batter in my baking tray, and I'm going to shake it a little bit just to remove the bubbles. So I can leave my cake just like that, white plain cake, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this stick just to decorate a little bit. What I'm going to use this pink food color, which is actually very light food color, not thick as I said before. I'm going to use few drop of it on top of my cake, and then I'm going to use this stick to marble it. Just going to be like marble cake. If you are a cake baker or you know how to make cake, you already know how this is very simple to do. And I'm not very good in baking, but I'm trying anyway. I'm going to be better maybe. One day maybe I'm going to be a perfect baker, but this is just the simple way to make my cake a little bit prettier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop a few drops of this pink food color or whatever food color you are using, and I'm going to marble it with the stick, so you can see what I'm doing. You don't need to be very chefy or perfect in baking. It's just the simple way. Even I'm not perfect anyway. This is just, I don't want to serve my cake. My husband loves a little bit pretty food, and every food I serve him, he like a little bit decoration or something on top of it. So that's why I'm doing it. But this is not necessary. This is just the optional part of it. And now I'm going to use this stick to marble it a little bit. This is just the simple way of decorating your cake. Because anyway, your cake going to be really good if you make like that. My cake is marbled properly now. You can see it looks really pretty at this moment. So now it's time to bake. And as I said, this is very optional, but it makes my cake really pretty and berry kind of. So now I put my baking tray in the oven for half an hour, 30 minutes in 160 degrees. So it's not gonna take more than 30 minutes because it's just a pound cake, and the temperature is 160 degrees. So after around 12 minutes, that's how my cake looks now. It's almost half done. You can see it coming out really nicely. So I'm gonna bake it for another 15 minutes. So to decorate my cakes, I actually finally chopped some maraschino cherries here. This is very optional, decorating your pound cake, but I'm gonna do it. As I said, I love to decorate my cake, and this is very basic because I'm not chef or it's not very perfect. So it's just the maraschino cherries, and they're gonna look like really like a ruby jewels on top of it. I took 2 tablespoons of icing sugar, and that icing sugar I'm gonna mix it with around 1 teaspoon of strawberry essence and little bit like few drops of pink color, and I'm gonna make it like a thick paste, and that's the one I'm gonna put on top of my cake, just like a icing sugar. And then just few drops of pink food color because it's a strawberry cake, so of course I'm gonna use pink color. And that icing sugar gonna give you really pretty kind of texture. And then I crushed some pistachio. I love pistachio in my cakes, and I just used a pestle and mortar to crush it. And this is just, I'm gonna sprinkle it on top of my icing sugar, and that's gonna look really pretty. And you can use other nuts, it's up to you, but I like pistachio with my strawberry cake. So yeah, these are the basic things. So my cake came out very nicely from the oven, you can see, and now I'm gonna let it cool for at least 30 minutes to 40 minutes before I added all those decoration things on top of it. So what I done, I already mixed my food color and flavor with my icing sugar, and now I'm using just one normal teaspoon just to drop on top of it. So here you go guys, this is my berry cake is ready for you, and you can see that is so simple to make and it's so pretty to look. It's just nothing, it's just whatever you have in your cupboard, just make one plain cake and serve it with a cup of tea or cup of coffee. It's just, you have no idea how beautiful that cake smells and so good to eat as well. And I love fresh cake from the oven. So I hope you're gonna like this recipe, and don't forget to like and subscribe my channel and follow my recipes and share my recipes with your friends, family and neighbors. And trust me, you should make this cake. This is so simple, so easy, and you can make your family and friends happy by making it and serving it. So here you go. Bye bye. Ta-da.